doing the July wrap up. It's a little late, but I couldn't really post it last week because last Wednesday was still July. So we're doing it now. Last month was a strange month. Like, it was really weird. I think I still had around the same amount of pages I usually read. I want to say 2,700 or something like that. But I think I had the lowest average rating for books like ever. I'm gonna have to double check on that. But like, I had one book that brought the whole average rating for the month down, and I'll talk to y'all about it. Actually, a couple of books that are on my read list from July I talked about in my video from last week, my biggest disappointments of the year so far. So I'm just gonna be repeating myself for a couple of books, but y'all be all right. And yeah, but it wasn't horrible. I mean, outside of the one book, it wasn't a bad book. So let's go ahead and get into it. As always, I'm gonna start with my Kindle reads first. So the first book I read on my Kindle last month was The Hemlock Queen by Hannah Witten. Yes, I'm going off memory. I'm trying to go off memory because usually I have to like go get my phone and look at my Storygraph and see what like character names are and all of that. I'm actually drawing a blank on character names right now, so I'm gonna have to go check. Give me a second. Okay, got everything. So I actually did a longer review of this on my Instagram, which I don't use my Bookstagram that much because, to be completely honest, I don't get a lot of traction on my Bookstagram. I usually get more of my traction here on YouTube or on my TikTok. So I just don't use it, but I've been trying to like post my like individual book reviews over there on that page. But I did a review over there. So this is the sequel to The Foxglove King, which I told y'all when I did my wrap up for June how much of a surprise it was that that book was so good considering the other books by Hannah Witten that I've read. So this one, like I said, is the sequel to Foxglove King. I don't know how many books are going to be in this series. I want to say it's a trilogy. I don't know. But anyway, so we pick up back with Lore and Bastion. The king is dead. I probably should have put I'm going to put a spoiler. Shall we? Remember, put a spoiler warning in the beginning. Editing me. Put a spoiler warning. The king is dead. Prince Bastion is now the king. But things are taking a turn for the worse. He's starting to act suspiciously. Lore has this voice in her head and she's starting to realize who this voice is. And her, along with all the other side characters, again, whose names I'm not recalling right now, are trying to figure out what's going on. The other three characters, they're kind of main characters. I'll call them like semi-mains. They like have been meeting in secret, trying to like figure out what's going on. And she finally comes to them and they finally reveal to her, okay, we've been looking up this stuff. We believe what you think is going on. That's what we've been trying to figure out, if that's really what's happening. And a lot of stuff takes a turn for the worse. The one thing I really loved about this story is that there's this whole flashback sequence to the gods that they worship and how they became gods and how they were basically kind of like coerced into becoming gods. It's really interesting. This was really good. I believe I gave this 5 stars. I think the Foxglove King got 4.5 stars, so I believe I gave this one 5 stars. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm still very surprised by how much I enjoyed this series by her, because For the Wolf and For the Throne I just did not really enjoy as much. Like I said before, I was kind of sick when I was reading those books, so maybe that's why I was confused a little bit while I was reading them. But yeah, so the Foxglove Hemlock, the Hemlock Queen got 5 stars. What have I said? The next book from my Kindle is another Kimberly Brown book. I told y'all I'm trying to get through as many Kimberly Brown books as I can. If I can read more than one a month, I do. But I only got to 1 this month, and it was The Perfection of a Moment. And this was like just strictly a feel-good love story, romance novel. It wasn't like there was no drama. There was no contention between the main characters. It was just like they meet, they fall in love, and we just watch as the whole thing unfold. So we follow Jimena and Hiram as they meet in the cutest possible way, and they go on their first dates, and they get to know each other and meet each other's family, and they push each other to come out of their comfort zone. It was just a feel-good love story. Like, if you are looking for something like a romance without any drama, without any like will they, won't they, without any like unnecessary like tension. This is the book. This one got 5 stars. Of course, it's Kimberly Brown. But yeah, this is just a feel-good love story. I enjoyed it a lot. It just gave me exactly what I needed from a romance novel. I got to the point where I'm like, all these romance novels I'm reading, somebody's going through something. There's some negativity. This one was just it was just beautiful to read. So yeah, 5 stars for perfection of a moment. The last book I read on my Kindle was Luca by Gray Huffington. Now, when I posted something, I forget what video I posted on my TikTok, someone commented on it and asked me if I read any Gray Huffington series. I was like, no, I've never read any Gray Huffington books. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and read one, and I picked Luca. And it got 3.5 stars. I wanted to give it less than that, but I was giving it the benefit of doubt because I did enjoy parts of the story. It was just I did not enjoy Luca as a love interest or as a character at all. Like, he was very pushy, and it seemed like he was really controlling to me, especially considering the woman that he was trying to become involved with just got out of a DV situation where she felt she was being financially controlled and had a very demanding, domineering husband, and for him to come in the way he did, and I just did not enjoy him as a love interest, like, at all. And a lot of the dialogue was just like, it just made me like very, very, very visibly cringe some of this dialogue from this story. Like, I think, and I hate to do this to y'all, but one of the lines is something like they were kissing, and it was something like, I wanted to taste the food that she just eaten, and I was like, what? Why is that the visual that we get? I didn't need that visual in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was unnecessary. But I still, you know, like I said, I still enjoyed the aspect of the female character trying to gain her independence, running away from a horrible, horrible situation and doing what was best for her and her children and trying to become more independent. I loved that aspect of the story. That was great. It was just like, and I haven't talked about this on my channel, it was just like This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Did not enjoy the love interest at all, but enjoyed the story of the female character trying to gain her independence and from her husband after some unnecessary bullcrap went down. So I did enjoy that part of it, but I did not enjoy the love interest whatsoever. I've been asking people, what Gray Huffington book should I read? Because I don't even know if I want to continue with this series. I don't know if I should continue reading any more at all because of that one line. Not even just that one line. There are multiple lines within the book that I'm like, why was it written like this? So if you are out there and you love Gray Huffington, please tell me what I should read. Like, is there something that's not going to make me cringe? Is there a love interest that I'm not going to be like, get away from me? Just let me know. But yeah, Luca got 3.5 stars. Okay, now we can move on to the physical books. I only have 6 books, so I had 3 Kindle, 3 physical. So first physical book for the month was Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I always say that backward. I said it right this time. Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. If y'all know, y'all already know. I don't need to say it. I say it all the time. Y'all know how I feel about her. So I've read, this is my second read through of this book because Children of Anguish and Anarchy, it came out, and I wanted to reread through the first 2 books to like refamiliarize myself with everything that was going on, because there were some things that I had forgotten. So this got 5 stars again. I mean, there wasn't a rating system back then, but when I started like getting into Goodreads and Storygraph and going back to books that I read before then, I gave this 5 stars, and it just got 5 stars again. Like, it's just, we pick up where we left off. Spoilers again. Everybody has magic, not just the Magi have magic after Zelly brought magic back with the ritual, and they end up, her and Amari and Zane end up finding this big group of Magi with all the clans and elders, and they are getting ready to go to war with the queen and the prince, who, what is the person, Nan. And see, I'm forgetting names. I hate that. I hate that I forget names so easily. But yeah, this was just a reread for me. It got 5 stars. It's just for me to get ready to read Children of Anguish and Anarchy. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say. It's great. It's good. It's a good sequel. Like I always say, when you do a second book, Introducing new characters, check. More world building, check. Just, what's the word I'm looking? I always forget words when I do these videos. Just building upon the initial story that we got in more depth, check. Like, it checks all the boxes for a second book in a series. So yeah, 5 stars again. The next book is the book that brought the whole average down for the month, which is Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, which got 1 star. And like I said in my video last week, this is the first 1 star I've ever given to a book ever. I will just not finish a book like Crave. I just did not finish it. And I think that's the only book I've ever DNF'd, like completely DNF'd, not gonna go back to. There are books I haven't finished that I'm gonna go back to, but Crave is the one that I completely was like, nope, not happening. But this, it took me, like I said, I started reading this book end of May, beginning of June, and I just finished it at the end of July. This book was so boring and so wordy. Like, I don't, like, if I'm wide awake and I'm reading a book, I'm not gonna fall asleep. Only time I'm falling asleep reading a book is if I'm reading a book while I'm sleepy, which I shouldn't do, but I do anyway. This book, I could be wide awake in the middle of the day reading this book and I'm falling asleep. This book was so boring and wordy and unnecessarily long. Like, for it to be so boring, like, these chapters were so long. The chapters could have been cut in half. A lot of the narration and unnecessary, what's the word? See, words escape me so easily. Just unnecessary explanation of things that we didn't really need to know. Like, when you start working on a story or a book, you have some kind of like world building Bible, which is what I used when I was in school for writing. You use a world building Bible, and that's where you put all the information about your world and the culture, characters, any religion, any, like, and anything about the different places, what goes on in different places. It's like she took everything in her world building Bible and threw it into this book in random places. And it's not necessary. Like, you don't need to give us all of that. Like, it just was not. And I was so disappointed. Clearly, it was in a disappointment video. I was so disappointed because I love the Red Queen series. It's like one of my favorite fantasy series, the Red Queen series. So as soon as I saw that she had other books coming out, I was like, yes, more Victoria Aveyard books. These are going to be great. I'm so excited about it. And then this happened. I started reading this and I was like, okay, interesting. It just, even the way it started, it was like, huh? It reminded me, if I could compare this to something, it reminded me of the Eternals, the Marvel movie The Eternals. There was like way too much over explanation of things that happened off screen or were unnecessary to the story. That's this book. That was this. Unnecessary. Like, I don't remember how long, 500 and some, with the acknowledgments, 568 pages. This book could have been about 300 and some pages if she cut some of these chapters 30, 40 pages long. For what? I'm getting mad all over again. Let me stop. This book got 1 star. That's the end of, and like I said, have the other 2 books. What I'm gonna do with I'm about to just donate these books, and that'll clear up a lot of space on my bookshelf, because there's no way I'm gonna read the rest of this series when I didn't even like this. This was boring. What are the other ones gonna be? They just as long. So unfortunately, Victoria Aveyard, I'm so sorry, but yeah, this got 1 star. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. And the last physical book of the month is Children of Anguish and Anarchy by Tomi Adeyemi. I talked about how I was disappointed in this book, not so much because it was bad, not in like the Realm Breaker kind of way, because this was not a bad book. It was not bad whatsoever. I gave this 4 stars. Let me start by saying that. Gave this 4 stars. I enjoyed the story. Let me also say that. The reason why I felt disappointment in this book, and the reason why I only got 4 stars as opposed to the other 2 books in the series which got 5 stars, is because it didn't seem to fit with the rest of the series. It was it just was a complete departure from everything else that was going on. There was no like satisfying ending of the civil war in Orisha between the Kosidans and the Titans and the Magi. There was none of that. There was like a random enemy that seemed to come out of nowhere that we had not heard of. We might have sort of kind of got a little inkling of it from Rowan when he mentioned in the second book when he was telling his men to call it off. This could have been what he was talking about. And speaking of Rowan, he just doesn't show up again. We don't hear from Rowan again. What happened to him? Like, him and Zelly had like a thing. They had the connection because she saved him. Like, what happened to Rowan? I don't know. Oh my God, what happened to Rowan? And then we get a whole new kingdom with a whole new magic system. These vine weavers. And they go there because Zelly has a vision that the girl, she's like a I guess she's like, I forget what they call her, but she's next in line to become her kingdom's like seer or healer, whatever. And she's in trouble. Same thing that happened to Zelly in this book is going to happen to her. So they have to go find her. Everybody gets split up like they usually do in these stories. And Nan ends up going back to Orisha with some of the Magi, and Zane, Zelly, and Amari go to this kingdom to find this girl. Amari ends up kind of like, not in a relationship with her, but they kind of like, you can tell they like each other, which comes out of nowhere. It just didn't seem to fit, but I did like the story on its own. It was very interesting. It was I don't know. I just wish that we could have got the ending, like, of what happened in Orisha, how the war ended, because they do end up putting their differences aside back in Orisha, because Zane shows them with his magic, he shows them the danger that's coming, how horrible the enemy is, and then his, everybody ends up working together so that they can keep their kingdom safe and their home safe. And then the ending just was not satisfying. It was not a satisfying conclusion to the series. That's the main issue. But as a story itself, it was great, which is the reason why I gave it 4 stars. But yeah, it was not fulfilling. We read this for book club, and we were all in there thinking the same thing, like, what is going on? Like, we like this as a story, but we don't like it as a conclusion for a series, especially when we've been waiting like some of us, me, have been waiting 4 years for this book to come out, and this is what happens. But I still love Tomi Adeyemi. She's still my favorite author. It's just, this just did not give me what I needed, but I'm looking forward to what she writes next, and I know the movies are in production, so I'm looking forward to those as well. And yeah, this got 4 stars. So that's my July reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it and saw something you might want to read. When it comes to Roundbreaker, if there's anybody out there that read it and you liked it, and please tell me in the comments what you liked about it. Do you like long books? Do you like books that over explain things and are too wordy, or maybe you liked it for another reason that is not one of my snarky, sarcastic reasons? Yeah, just let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.